Think Linux is only for nerds hunched over a glowing green terminal in a dark basement. Well, you're not entirely wrong. I mean, I am that nerd. But the idea that it's only for us is frankly about as outdated as a dial-up modem. Today, we're going to bust 10 of the biggest Linux myths in just 6 minutes. We're doing a classic myth versus reality, top 10 takedown, and we're gonna move fast. Forget everything you thought you knew about that little penguin. This isn't your dad's command line only, it's a whole new world. Compile it yourself operating system from the 90s. We're going to tackle everything from usability, software, gaming, security. Is it really a pain to install? Can you actually play your Steam library on it? Does it even have apps? Or are you stuck with a glorified calculator? The answers might genuinely surprise you. We'll be looking at modern, user-friendly versions of Linux that are a world away from the stereotypes. GNOME, KDE, Plasma, Cinnamon. This is about showing you what the Linux desktop experience is like in 2024, not what some forum post from 2004 told you. My promise. By the end, you'll know what Linux really is, what it isn't, and if it's a good fit for your daily computer. Alright, let's kick this off with the big one, the idea that Linux is exclusively for programmers, sysadmins, and people who find compiling kernels to be a fun weekend activity. This might have been true back when I was first getting into this stuff, but today, it's just not the reality. Modern Linux distributions, Ubuntu, Pop, OS, Linux Mint, are built from the ground up with the average user in mind. Think less box of raw engine parts and more a fully assembled car, ready to drive off the lot. The interfaces are just as polished and intuitive as anything you'd find on Windows or Mac OS. You've got app stores, system settings, easy file managers. Browse the web, check email, watch Netflix, and listen to Spotify. No code required. Honestly, my mom could use modern Ubuntu. The whole "you need to be a super genius" thing is a relic of the past. The community and the companies behind these projects have spent decades making it more accessible. If fear of not being technical enough is holding you back, you can put that fear to rest. If you can use a smartphone, you can use a modern Linux desktop. It's that simple. Okay, fine, maybe I can use it, but what can I do with it? There are no apps, right? Wrong. The Linux software ecosystem is absolutely massive and incredibly mature. LibreOffice handles documents, spreadsheets, presentations, with great Microsoft compatibility. GIMP for photo editing, Inkscape for vectors, Firefox, Chrome. The installation process, the legendary gatekeeper that supposedly requires a PhD and a sacrifice to the penguin gods. Installing a modern distro like Fedora or Ubuntu is ridiculously easy, often faster and simpler than Windows. Create a bootable USB with tools like Balena Etcher or Raspberry Pi Imager. Select image, select drive, click flash. Done. Boot from the USB into a live environment. Try everything without touching your disk. When ready, click install. A graphical wizard asks for language, keyboard, where to install. Partitioning can be one click. Install alongside Windows or erase disk. 10 to 15 minutes later, you're done. It's not the arcane ritual people make it out to be. Now for a myth, some Linux fans perpetuate, and it's dangerous, that Linux is completely immune to viruses and malware. Let's be crystal clear. No operating system is invincible. Linux is safer due to market share economics and architecture. Strong permissions mean malware can't wreck the system without your password. But malware for Linux does exist. Ransomware, rootkits, Trojans. If you run sketchy software and granted access, you can get infected. Stick to official repos, don't run scripts you don't understand, keep your system updated. Linux is more secure, but you are still the most important security feature. Great, I've got it installed, but my Wi-Fi card doesn't work and my printer is a paperweight. That was a headache 15 years ago. Today, the Linux kernel supports a massive range of hardware, often out of the box. CPUs, RAM, storage, Intel AMD graphics, common Wi-Fi, keyboards, mice, it just works. Recognized and configured automatically. Very new components may need a few months. Some vendors hold back drivers. Even Nvidia has improved dramatically with better open source drivers. It's a complete misunderstanding that there's no one to call. Linux has robust paid commercial support, a multi-billion-dollar industry. Companies like Red Hat, SUSE, and Canonical provide enterprise-grade support with 24/7 SLAs, security patches, reliability, and accountability. Even on desktops, vendors sell Linux pre-installed and support the hardware they ship. For years, that wasn't a myth. It was reality. Few native games, lots of hacks. Then Valve introduced Proton, supercharged wine, for Steam. They poured resources into making Windows games run on Linux. For a huge number of titles you click install, then play, and they just work. Performance is often shockingly good, and the Steam Deck, running Linux-based Steam OS, put compatibility front and center. Some competitive shooters still struggle, but the idea that Linux is bad for gaming is officially dead. Linux is a kernel, the engine. Distros are the complete cars built around it. Desktop environment, utilities, package manager, default apps, Ubuntu, Fedora, Arch Linux, Debian, Linux Mint. Different philosophies so you can pick what fits you. You get what you pay for? In open source, free primarily means freedom. To see, modify, and share the code. Linux is world-class software, scrutinized by thousands of top engineers, many paid by Google, Intel, IBM, Samsung, AMD, Oracle, Microsoft, who rely on it daily. More eyes, faster fixes, higher security, not free because it's worthless. Free because of the freedom and collaboration it enables. So, there you have it. 10 myths. Busted. Linux is user-friendly, has great software and hardware support, and is far more modern than the stereotypes. It's not some obscure command-line-only OS. It's polished, powerful, secure, a viable, often superior alternative to Windows, and to Mac OS. From gaming on the Steam Deck to powering the world's supercomputers, that little penguin is everywhere. We're not saying delete Windows. We're clearing up the FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, so you can decide. Try a live USB with zero risk. Download an ISO, flash a USB, boot straight into Linux. If you enjoyed this myth-busting session, smash like, get subscribed, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Tell us in the comments, which Linux myth surprised you the most? Now go on, be brave. Download an ISO, flash a USB, and give it a try. You might just like it. This presentation is brought to you by Samuel F. Clarke. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your Linux journey adventure begins now.